Here in the 21st century, we have become accustomed to the general concepts of contemporary motorcycle design. There have been a lot of experiments with the design of motorcycles. Some have been pretty strange, even by the standards of old day, but many were groundbreaking designs that were actually brought into mass production with varying degrees of success in the marketplace. Thanks to some amazing motorcycle history books, we've had the opportunity to take a look at nearly every production motorcycle ever built. Dear viewers, don't forget to subscribe to be notified of the new videos. Number 1. Majestic Steam Velocipede. It seems only fitting to begin this look at the groundbreaking production motorcycles with the very first known to have been mass-produced. Created by Louis-Guillaume Preux, a small commercially available steam engine was fitted to a Michaud bicycle frame. Several hundred of these steam-powered machines were produced each year from 1868 to 1871 in France, making the Majestic Steam Velocipede what is believed to be the world's first production motorcycle. Number 2. Migola. Built in Germany from 1921 to 1925, the Migola had one of the most unorthodox powertrain designs ever successfully offered in a production motorcycle. Its 640cc, 5-cylinder air-cooled, side-valve radial 4-stroke engine was mounted directly at the front wheel, eliminating the need for clutch and gearbox. A single carburetor mounted on the right side of the fork fueled the engine. With the front wheel up on the center stand, the bike could be started by spinning the front wheel and idle in place, or with the wheel down, the rider could simply bump start it and be off. There was no front brake, but it had a dual rear brake system. Number 3. Nakara. Another machine that could be had with a bucket seat and featured a low center of gravity and hub center steering was the Nakara, built in both the US and United Kingdom from 1921 to 1926. Built with a 283cc 2-stroke single-cylinder engine in the US and 347cc 4-stroke single-cylinder in the United Kingdom, the Nakara initially had a 5-speed friction drive to the rear wheel, and later had a 3-speed transmission and chain drive system. The clutch was operated with a twist grip on the left handlebar. The Nakara became recognized as one of the most reliable machines as well. Number 4. Majestic. The name Majestic was quite popular as a motorcycle mark at the beginning of the 20th century, being claimed by 2 English, 1 Belgian and 1 French manufacturer between 1904 and 1934. It was this French model that pushed the boundaries of styling with its streamlined unit body look, automotive-style chassis, duplex steering and air-cooled 350cc engine. Number 5. Emmi. Perhaps German engineering and efficiency were never put on display more effectively than in the Emmi, built from 1948 to 1951. With advanced features like a single-sided front fork, and single-side rear swing arm and cantilevered rear suspension, features that would not find their way into the designs of other brands until many years later, the ultralight Emmi was way ahead of its time. With the engine, driveline and rear end of the bike built as one unit, the single-side swing arm also functioned as the exhaust system. A tiny 98cc 2-stroke engine powered the early models, with a twin-cylinder 148cc engine being fitted on later models. Number 6. Bomberland. In stark contrast to the wispy Emmi design, the Czech Bomberland, built from 1925 to 1939, was built with heavy-duty, hard use in mind. The massive steel double cradle frame housed a 598cc single-cylinder OHV Liebes 4-stroke engine, and the frame's top rails extended all the way back past the rear wheel. Twin fuel tanks were mounted at the rear of the frame, and aluminum disc wheels were used to save weight on the very long wheelbase machines. Some models were designed to seat 3 passengers. Number 7. Scot pullin. As manufacturers sought ways to refine and economize on the manufacturing process, pressed steel monocoque and unit body style approaches became attractive alternatives to labor-intensive welded tube designs. The English Scot pullin was built with pressed steel chassis, front fork and guards from 1928 to 1930. This bike had a 498cc 4-stroke single-cylinder engine with dry sump lubrication. Number 8. Roken. Having both front and rear-wheel drive on a motorcycle was probably thought of by many designers over the last century plus of motorcycle development, but the only successful production example we could locate is the Roken. Developed in 1958 by Charles Fenn, manufacturing rights were sold to Netherkit Industries in 1960. In the 1960s, production was moved from California to Vermont and later to New Hampshire. In 1973, automatic transmission was offered. Among all the designs attempted, the Roken also has the singular feature in that it can be laid on its side in deep water and it will float. Number 9. Quasar. A more modern interpretation of the Nakara theme was the Quasar, designed by the late Malcolm Newell, built in England from 1976 to 1994. Powered by a 750cc 4-cylinder Reliant automobile engine, and equipped with a 4-speed gearbox, and full roof fiberglass body, it offered some degree of weather protection, and excellent aerodynamics. Similar design approaches are found in the Swiss Ecomobile, and British-built Voyager. Number 10. Scot. While 2-stroke engines were popular in many early motorcycle designs, in the early 20th century, they were far from optimal, noisy, stinky and unreliable, prone to overheating. It was Englishman Alfred Scott who took the 2-stroke engine from a cheap, low-performance utility motor to a reliable high-performance machine. His liquid-cooled, parallel twin-cylinder engine had a 180 degrees crank and displaced 333cc. The Scot was the first motorcycle with a kickstarter instead of pedals to start the engine, as well as being the first production bike to have a foot gear shift. By 1911, Scot became the first to use rotary disc intake valves. Other manufacturers wouldn't catch up with Scott's innovative design for 2-strokes until the 1970s. Dear viewers, these are the information we have prepared about the top 10 strangest motorcycles of all time. And, don't forget to subscribe to be notified of the new videos. Thanks for watching. See you in another video.